Good morning, Roger. Still waiting for you to call me back. Mike Pellegrino said he was going to tell you to call me. I had a little incident with Sergio yesterday. When I came to pick up my truck, it was absolutely disgustingly dirty. I had a burn on the front hood where they buffed it and they burned through the paint, and they scratched my passenger side wheel fender flare, the plastic fender flare. So rather than try to tell you everything, I'll just play this. This is the voicemail, not the voicemail, the message between you and me before I came to drop the truck off after I took the Google review down, which showed that they damaged my door handle. So this is the voicemail, the message between you and me.
Tell me when you're coming back.
Right.
And we'll have the truck ready for you. We'll clean it and we'll have it all ready for you.
Okay, great. And are you guys? Can I drop it on Saturday?
All right. So they said, we're going to have it nice and clean and everything. And then I told you it wouldn't be a rush because I was going to Montana driving. We were going to be gone for 2.5 weeks. And you told me that, it'll be done way before then, but it'll just be sitting here waiting for you. And then when I called on the way home from Montana, you had said that, no, I think I saw it was still at the body shop with the GPS. And then you said, yeah, we're picking it up on Monday. So then on Tuesday, I was going to come out and pick it up. But then I looked on the GPS, it was still at the body shop. So I called over to the you guys, and you called me back and said, yeah, we're going to send some guys over to get it later. Now, the next day, Wednesday, I got a call from one of the service guys, probably Matt, and he said, your truck is here. You can come pick it up whenever you're ready. I said, great. I'll probably come out, later today. And then you called and said, I don't know if anybody reached out to you, but your truck is here. It's ready to go. Now, I would have hoped that you would have went out and looked at it because, the history of, this thing coming in for a bad starter, and then the door handle getting scratched, and, and then I had the bubble of paint on the hood, and stuff like that. So, to make it right, you said you were going to, clean it up and whatever. And then I told you they didn't charge me for when I was cooking the hamburgers. I don't know if you remember that. I was cooking hamburgers for my grandkids, and I told you I didn't even pay for my inspection and, $35 or whatever it is. And I said, because they tried to charge me $112 for diagnosing a problem that my app told me to tell the dealership about. So, which I did, my brake system failure and power, anti-lock brake system failure or something like that. So then when they diagnosed it and said they didn't find anything, they wanted to charge me. I said, well, I didn't tell you there was a problem with the brakes. I told you the app told me when it was dead in the cemetery. So long story short, you told me don't even worry about that. We take care. Because I think when I said I'm not paying that $112, the phone rang, and I think it was Sergio, and they picked up the phone. And they were on the phone. Yeah, okay. Hung up and says, give him his key. He said, he didn't say who. He said, we're going to cover it. We're taking care of it. And he gave me my key, and I left. And when I got home, I realized I didn't pay for the inspection. So when I did speak to you after the Google review, I had told you, I said, I didn't even pay for the inspection. You said, don't even worry about that. You said it's the least, of our problems or something like that. So then, now the truck wasn't ready, what it should have been. I go there yesterday, and it's absolutely filthy. There's bird crap on it. There's dust on it, like pollen and tree branch, from the trees, like sitting out in the trees. So then I open the door. There's like, when you sand primer, that fine dust that gets on everything. It was on my carpet, on my center console. It was just on the seats, even the passenger seat, which is weird that somebody would be in the passenger seat of that truck, but whatever. So I wasn't happy with the way it looked, how filthy it was when he pulled it up. And then when I walked out and did a walk around, I noticed that there was a scratch on the fender flare on the passenger side front. And then I noticed that the front of the hood, the leading edge, they burned the paint and burned through the edge. So I was like, oh my God. Now I brought it in for something else. They fixed the door handle, but now they damaged the freaking hood and damaged the fender flare. So I went in to talk to Matt, I think his name is. I went in there, and basically he's like, what's up? And I said, there's a problem. I said, there's a scratch on the fender flare, and the hood is burned, like the paint is burned on the edge of the hood. And he didn't even say anything. he just walked away from me. Came out of the counter and made a left to the hallway, went down by Sergio's office. He made a left, so I walked around the corner with him, and there we see Sergio all the way down by the coffee maker. So he says, "Hey, Sergio," and Sergio turns and goes, "What's up?" He goes, "Mr. Gunther." He goes, "What's wrong now?" So he goes, "He said we scratched his fender flare and that the hood is, the paint is burned." And Sergio just starts, and he was with a customer too, which is kind of weird that he would do that. He goes, "No, we have pictures and video. We didn't do anything," or something. I said, "Sergio, why don't you just come outside and look at it?" And then he said, "I'll be out in a little while." And then he left with the customer toward the sales floor. So I said, "All right, he's probably going to do the waiting game." So I went outside and stood outside and just waited. Stood out there, made a little video, walk around my truck, and I'll show you that video. And then he finally came out, and basically, as he's walking towards, I said something like, I said, not for nothing. I said, but it came in again, and now it's still not done right, and it even has more damage on the car. And then when he said, I said, "I heard you down the hallway." I told him, I said, "I heard you down the hallway saying, we got pictures of video." And I said, I don't give a fuck about your pictures of video. I have video of timestamps of when I dropped it, when I picked it up, and it's damaged. And before I even got to say that, I said, "I don't give a fuck about your pictures and videos." I said, "I just want my car fixed. And every time I bring it in, it just gets damaged more. This just has more issues with it when I get it back." And then he turns around and goes, "Oh, you owe us $36 for car inspection." And that's when I flipped out, because I had already told you that I didn't pay for that. And you had said, "Don't even worry about that," with all the issues I've been through. So I told him, now I snap. I said, "Go fuck yourself." I said, "I already spoke to your manager, and which is you." I said, "And they told me that's on us. That's the least we could do." So he goes, "Oh yeah, who said that?" I said, "The manager." I couldn't remember your name at the split second. I said, "Just stop treating me like a jerk off. Like every time I say there's something wrong with my truck, he acts like I'm a fucking liar, or like I'm a fucking trying to get over on you guys, which I'm not." So then he goes, "No, I think before we get to that, or after I cursed at him, he's like, what's wrong with it?" I said, "This scratch, we didn't do that." And then I show him the hood, and you can hear him on the recording. He goes, "Yeah, that's ugly," like that. So he sees it. Like, so again, I'm treat me like a jerk off when I say you burned through the paint on my hood, and then I tell you that we didn't. Then he walks outside and goes, "Oh yeah, that's ugly," because he sees it, and it's unacceptable, and it should have never came from the body shop like that. The kid, whoever picks it up, should have looked it over and went like, "This is no good." Or even when it got back to the dealership, maybe you or Sergio or Matt should look it over, and the first thing you would notice is that paint is burned. That's the first thing you notice, and be like, "Oh my God!" And then the second thing you notice is like, this vehicle has been parked under a tree and it's filthy. So anyway, that's the story. And we wound up, cursing each other out. I went and looked for whoever the owner is, and I wound up having a nice conversation with Mike Pellegrino. He told me he was going to reach out to you today. I'm losing my voice. Anyway, so I already played the voice message between you and me. So now here's the truck when I picked it up. When Sergio says, "I'll be out in a little while," then he made me wait out there for like 15 minutes.
All right, so once again, the truck was in they get repaired. And now we got this scratch, which wasn't here. Let's see if that sunlight can get it. Let me pause that right there and go to this video of the walk around the day I brought the truck in. So you see on the top, it says May 16th. That's the day I brought it in, at 9:45 in the morning. I left probably around 10 o'clock to bring it in. I probably got to you guys probably about almost 11 to drop it off. My wife had, drove me back home. So here's a video. And one more walk around like this. And I'll try to show you this fender flare. That's the actual fender flare. The scratches. Now I'm zooming in on this, but you'll see, hopefully. Let me go back a little bit. There's the fender flare. I thank God I accidentally got it while I was walking around. And you can see there's no mark on that fender. All right? No mark. Look how spotless this truck is. I keep it look at the bumper is all clean. It might be a water from dew overnight, you know. But this thing is immaculate, naturally. All right, I think you actually see the inside, maybe. Oh no, probably the previous video. This one you probably see the inside. Service, but there's the rust spot that had to be fixed. There it is. Here you see no burn mark in the paint on the hood, which would be right about here, I guess. Well, hopefully I can. There's a big glare, but if I can back up a little bit. Back up. There, you see there's no burn mark on the hood. It would be like right here. There's nothing there. All right, so that's, oh no, I want to show you the interior, how I keep the inside of my truck. There's like a reflection from the windshield. Oh, there's a scratch on the door handle. So that's the sunlight. But you'll see the back, nice and clean. Look at the carpet. I think I opened the back, nice and clean. Nice and clean, spotless. Vacuumed it before I came in. Because I want it to be nice, you know? And there's another picture of the hood with no burn mark on there. So that's that. Now, go back to this video where you see the fender. Wasn't here. Let's see if that sunlight can get it. Pretty shitty. Look at dirt. Look at the dirt. Never. This truck has never been this dirty. Looks like a razor blade or something hit it. This looks like just tar. Yeah, burnt shit or something. And then they fucking burned through the paint on the hood. Right there. When they bumped it. There's a scratch to the right. Right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to get in the angle. Yeah. Look at the dirt on this bumper. This has never been like this. Walk around, let's open the door and look at the rug. It's got powder from the sanding. I mean, this is nice. I got dust. They must have had the windows open while they're sanding it. Look at these. Roger said they're going to clean the truck before they give it back. Look at it. It literally looks like it was parked on this. Look clean? For a month. Does this look clean? Not even vacuumed. Guy must have been walking in the body shop with where they sand and got dust all over. Can't really see the dirt on the camera, but when I had to leave and go get gas because I had less than 20 miles. Well, I had, I think, 20 miles and left on range for gas, and my house is more than 20 miles away, so I had to go get gas. Look, I'm gonna clean it up for you. Bird shit. There's like masking tape glue all over the doors. I don't know what the hell this is. Masking tape. Oh, it's stuck. It's. Let me fast forward a little bit. I'm trying to get that tape that's stuck there. Look at all the pollen and shit that's stuck. You can see the watermarks from the rain. This looks like the guy's two shins. You know, sweaty, dusty shins when he was like sanding the hood or buffing. Now if you can see that white. Yeah, it looks like two legs white right here. I don't know if it's. And then basically that's it for this video. Now we'll go to the gas station across the street, which I believe is this one. Nope. Oh, here it is. I'm across the street at the Shell station, I think it is, directly across from Riverhead Ram. Now with the sun the way it is, you can see the dirt. This is that Riverhead. Look how nice and clean this is. The camera doesn't really do it justice, but look at this.
Only $1 for
Nice and clean.
mini donuts.
We're gonna get it nice and clean for you.
Ready to go. Now that's a sweet
Nice and clean.
score. Plus tax. Terms and conditions apply.
Nice and clean. Fucking disgusting. This truck has never been this dirty. This has never. Look at this. Looks like somebody spit in here. Nice and clean. This has never been like this. That's after I was getting gas. Then I wound up going down the block to the car wash. Paid $22 for a car wash. And then this is right behind the car wash on, I think they call it Pulaski or whatever. All right, I just left Riverhead Ram, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, whatever. Just took it to the car wash because it was disgusting. You can really see the paint is burned through right there. There's a scratch to the right. See if I get close so you can see it. See the paint's missing. Now I rubbed this with a microfiber when I dried the car, and I was rubbing and I got a lot of it out. And actually I don't see the scratch anymore. Right there. Oh, it's right there. Right there, you can still see it. But I was able, I used a lot of force. I'm trying to get on it. There you go. I used a lot of force and rubbed it back and forth to try to take that little burr edge off. This is tape, glue. There's tape glue over somewhere on the other door, maybe on the door handle. What is this? Dirt. This is the handle they fixed. Masking tape glue. There's that glue there. It's like, it feels like contact cement. So that's that. I'm trying to think if there's any other videos. No, that's it. So give me a call when you get this video, I hope.